Everybody, welcome to Athena After Dark. We took a 2 week sabbatical. Moving sucks, and I'm glad that you're here tonight. We have a fabulous show. I'm super excited. As you can tell, super tired too. I got nice bags under my eyes, but I got some more muscle. Kind of crazy. Um, yeah, so it's good to be back. We are here at Vagabond headquarters. As you can see, we're in the shop. I thought this was the coolest place with Wi Fi for us to do our show right now. So I'm here in my pajamas, and we have, again, I'm excited. We have a great guest. But first, we'll start out Athena After Dark, home of the five good things. Remember, when life is a shit show for you or a friend or a family member, just tell yourself or get them to tell you five good things because it'll change your perspective every time. Um, okay, well, again, I'm glad you're here. Thing one is here with us, and Dawn's out there doing craft services, making cheese and crackers. um, so we're having our own bit of fun tonight. I wanted to tell everybody they had a great time on the High Seas rally, so much so that I still can't get anybody to send me pictures. I will put some of those pictures up when we do get some because I heard it was a blast. They had a really good time. Barbie the Welder was giving seminars, and Chris Count was playing with the band with Xavier. And shout out to Xavier. We're sending our love to you and your family. And then Miss Heather and her sister went to the Lone Star Rally in Galveston, and another good time. They had a great event. Everything went good. So we're excited for them and for that. And looking forward to, okay, here our toy run is good. That's our toy run. But this year I'm really looking forward to February. And that's because Cycle Showcase is going to be in St. Louis, Missouri on February 12th and 13th. And a newfound friend, Randy, he does this event. He did the smoke out. He set up all the lighting and everything. It was phenomenal. The show, the exhibit space, it was absolutely incredible. So I'm really looking forward to that. Probably going to be too cold to ride there, but you never know. Make snowmobile suits. With our guest tonight, I'm inspired to do everything and anything. She inspires me all the time, like many of the women in my life. So that's exciting. But we're going to talk about some cool things that are going on. So everybody remembers that over the summer I was on the Chicks on 66 ride, and tonight's guest, she was also on the Chicks on 66 ride. Um, so it was a crazy time, crazy event, but I got the opportunity to write the article in the Easy Riders magazine, and on the cover it says Chicks on 66 Wild Women Riders. So when you turn to the page, and it's so cool, I'm excited because that's like a life dream there, is to have your stuff written or done in Easy Riders. And then all these women so deserve to be in there. I did submit 105 pictures, so the ones that the editors picked are there. But Chicks on 66 and the Greasy Girls version. I wrote it from the mechanic's perspective, what Gypsy and I followed these women through, all their adventures and their trials and tribulations, and how they stuck together and rode the shit out of their motorcycles. Miss Danielle, she went across country on an 883 Sportster. Shit you not. There's a lot of men who wouldn't do that. So hats off. These women just, they really stuck together. They we had breakdowns, we had physical breakdowns, we had some slight mental breakdowns, nothing like, the guys would describe in some of their, stories they would think they'd like to tell. I think women are actually better sometimes. I've traveled with a group of men and women, and yeah. And then, where's the other issue? This month, Cycle Source, I did a review on the Lowrider ST. It's the December January issue. So pick that up and get a chance, read it. Both of them are good, and I'm so happy. I'm really, really excited about that. So tonight, instead of doing Fang Five Good Things, we're going to go ahead and first we're going to say thank you. Um, Tonight is our tribute, our veterans special. So thank you to all our veterans and our heroes and active military and all their families. Everybody, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. They provided us since the beginning security, safety. They fought for us and made sure that we were here free to do whatever it is we do here. So again, Veterans Day weekend was, pretty somber, but it was really good to see all the people that came out for all the celebrations and the football games and baseball, how they celebrated our military. And tonight, our guest, she is also a veteran, so I'm very proud of that. She served in the Air Force. And yeah, Miss Lisa Boots, I love her. She is an inspiration to me. And so this evening, I am extremely excited. So if I'm talking fast and moving fast, this is because I'm so excited. All right. So usually we do fan five good things. Tonight, I wanted to give everybody five good things about our country from my perspective. The first of the five good things for me is the fact that our flag is celebrated from the youngest to the oldest. My grandson is 4, and I'm pretty sure within the first 10 words he could say American flag. That was something that we always pointed out. Second, the pride of the people of our country, and especially our veterans and our military, the great pride that they take um, to make sure that our country is the best that it can be. They're always protecting us and doing the things that are necessary. And without complaint, our veterans, all of our military, they've pretty much written a check that says, I give you everything, including my life, to protect you and keep you safe. So that is above and beyond. My third good thing for our country is, I guess how I would describe it is the common courtesy and love for one another. Because as much as everything in the media and all that stuff is all divisive and people are divided, when it comes down to the things that we need, fires, natural disasters, all of it, you see everyone. It doesn't matter your religion or your political perspective or any of that. Everyone comes together and helps one another because that is our human nature. And for me, that's one of the best things about our country, no matter what. The fourth thing is the fact that we get to be neighborly and share. So when I say that, I mean we get to share. And why do we get to share? Because our veterans, our active military, all of our reserves, Coast Guards, all of them, not only them, but their families too, they give so much so that we can do whatever we want to do. So for that, I'm grateful. And then for our history, how we ended up here today, all the things our country's been through. But when we started, taxation without representation and Boston Tea Party, and as we went through, the country's grown. We've fallen back. We've grown some more. We've fallen back. Everybody is entitled to their belief in what they feel politically, religiously, spiritually, whatever it is that you do. But you have to stop and think that that's all because of our service members. So anytime you see someone that you see, they have the hat, the World War II, the Vietnam, make sure you say thank you for your service. I mean, it's important. Even our service members, our police, our firefighters, paramedics, all of them, they really do. Teachers too. They deserve a real thank you and a thank you for your service because, honest to goodness, that's what they do. They serve us so that we can go on and be educated, free, have the right to, protest or celebrate or whatever it is. So remember, that's because of our military and their families. They sacrifice tremendously. Okay, and I am a hot mess today. Oh my God. Moving really does stink. Hot shower and some things, no makeup. Okay. All right, so next is our product pick of the week. Tonight, we are going to talk about 3D printing. Okay, there's a company. It's Nine Finger Fabrication, and the website's right up there. They're doing it, okay? They are making tools that you can use. Now, thing one, this is what he does in his spare time. He does this 3D printing stuff. This is a plane he made for Baron. That's the little one. I know, I'm such a geek here. I got to show it off. And then this is the big one. I'm enamored. So this powder they make powder and it makes layers and it builds this stuff. Okay, I'm in awe of that because I make things out of metal. So to see a printer do that with plastic and metals and stuff it's awesome. I'm loving it. Well, the product pick of the week, Nine Finger Fabrication, they make tools so that you can do clean builds, not have a bunch of crap flying around. And as anyone knows, when you're doing a motor job or you're doing something, you want a clean surface, you want clean air, you want everything to be sanitary so that you don't have anything. And then these tools also help for the oops, the washer that falls out, the something doesn't go in, your airports and stuff like that. But the tool that I like the most, and Don and I both concur on this, is the 3D. They do it 3D print. It's a sprocket lock for the M8 chain drive conversion, so that your sprocket doesn't just go ripping around and you don't have to hold it. This tool is cool. It's so cool. It is very, very cool. So check them out. 9 Finger Fabrication. They have so much stuff, and you just really, it makes sense. And to see that these kids are doing this, and they're coming up with solutions to problems where we used to stick a rag in a port and make sure it was a clean rag, fresh out of the box. We have to get all the lint off of it. All the stuff that we go through. These kids are making tools out of plastic, 3D, and they're doing stuff. And then they also make cool stuff. They have shifter levers, extended linkage and stuff like that for the M8s. They're doing good stuff, but the tools are neat, and I really dig them. And the best part, they're made in America. So, and everybody knows I love a product that's made in America. I believe if we keep it here and do as much as we can here, we all get to, reap the reward of it. Everyone. So, all right. Cool. Our community corner is definitely always a favorite of mine, and something that I always want to promote is Meals on Wheels. So I was talking to my Uncle Larry today. He's 89, and we were talking about my dad, and my dad's favorite thing once a week was the man who delivered the Meals on Wheels. His name was Vince, and he used to come by every week, and he would come in, and my dad would show him pictures of the motorcycles that I built and the things. I mean, even to the point after my dad passed away, even the AT&T guy, when he installed the internet service here at the shop, he knew who I was because he had installed my dad's cable, and my dad had like a shrine. My dad was my biggest fan. So, but he loved the conversation and the camaraderie. He didn't really have to eat the food. He would have it for lunch and snack on it because we always had dinner as much as we could together. But most importantly, he loved the time that he spent with that individual because he didn't get a chance to socialize and go out much. So Meals on Wheels is a really good program. It doesn't just provide food, but it provides someone to check on these elderly people who sometimes have no one in the world or are alone. So if you can support it, please do. You can donate. Go to mealsonwheels.org. Give if you can. If you can volunteer, be of service. For 2023, it is my goal to find a way to promote people to do that. I myself am going to find some time to at least volunteer to go with someone once in a while and visit. I want to learn about it more because those are the important things that we have to slow down and make time for. If we do that, the world's going to be a great place. And again, you never know, like that elderly person that you stop by their house, you may just end up having 5 good things because of that person. Or think about it, when you come by, you could be one or all of their 5 good things. So that's what we want here. So mealsonwheels.org, please. And again, I have some really good friends and some special friends, new friends that I met that they actually head up some real good charities about stuff like that. So that's super cool. Now, to the exciting part. Oh, wait, before we get there, I have to just say a couple of things. My board is right here. I have to say I got a special gift in the mail from Spitfire, Miss Vicky Sanfilippo, and Tony Pan, her husband. They sent me a very nice gift. I want to say thank you for that. I want to tell everybody what it is because then you'd all be in awe because it's super cool. Actually, they sent me some stickers, and they're priceless. They mean the world to me, and I can't thank them enough. Now I'm just like, do I put them in a photo album and save it, or I want to put one on the back of my motorcycle on my fender. I would never stick a sticker to my motorcycle, but that one, I might just have to do it. So there's a guitar that's got one on it too. So that it's just, I think that's where it's going. So yeah, I think I decided that. So thank you for the gift. I love you both very much. Tony, I hope you're going to come and be a guest. I'm going to hit you up this week and see when you can fit me into your schedule. I'll put on some makeup. I promise I won't be such a mess. Okay. And then tonight I have to say a couple of shout outs. So to Miss Ivy, if you're watching or you watch this at all, smile and breathe. You are beautiful and the love is coming your way. So, and I got you, sister. I know exactly how you feel. If the world could throw any more shit, but then just 5 good things. And I got them. I have 5 good things and I'm sure you do too. So I make you one of mine today. And then Miss Laura Clock. If anybody follows Laura Clock online on Facebook, she was all bundled up yesterday, going out to spread straw for the animals. And when I tell you bundled up, I can't imagine how cold it was. It was cold here at 65 or 67. I had to put a jacket on last night. And when I got up this morning to walk the dog, it was 80. And I dressed for like it was 60. So a cold front here isn't the same as up there. So I'm here if you guys want to come on vacation, and somebody else will feed the animals for a week or so. So I did want to say that. And all right, so then the good part. Now we get to the good part. We get to the guest, Miss Lisa Pearson. Boots rode on her motorcycle on the Chicks on 66 ride with her. This is where I met this woman. She inspires the heck out of me. We talked about some stuff prior to the ride, and we talked a little motorcycle stuff. She's mechanically inclined. She is good people. She inspired me the whole ride. She kept me smiling. I loved watching her. It was amazing because she just keeps on rolling and smiling and doing, and just goes at it. And she was in the Air Force. So we're going to start on her show picture. Look at that. That is awesome. So in the Air Force, Miss Boots, I loved reading this in her bio, in her little bio paragraph that I made her send me. So in the Cold War, she interpreted Morse code communications from other countries and the NSA. Like, that's some awesome shit right there. Like, and in Desert Storm, she briefed the C-130s and the A-10s for the crew members for preparation for their flight. Now, now she's got grown kids now, and she had to do some corporate world stuff. But this woman rides. She always makes time to ride. And her man, Rubel, he is very close to my heart. He's a sweetheart. Him and Donnie are so much alike. They're so much fun. So we're going to show some pictures. There's her and Rubel. I love that picture. Okay, and we got some good ones too. He sent a few, and she sent a few. All right, so it's a family thing for her. Let's go to, this is Aunt Regina. Go back there. It's Aunt Regina, Uncle Pat, and Uncle Vin. So again, these are obviously, it's a riding family, and then they have an extended riding family on both sides. So it's super cool that she comes from that. We have a cool picture. There's a picture of her riding the tail of the dragon. That one's a good one. I love that. Look at that. That shot is awesome. So, and then there's us working on her motorcycle on Chicks on 66. She had a wiring issue. And of course, we all just jumped in. But the cool part was she was right in there. Everybody wanted to know. And all the girls got together, and everybody had good moral support. Like, come on, we got this. Everybody would go for stuff. It was an incredible trip. And then she's showing the guns there. I like this picture too. This is a good one. That's a super good one. Look at her. She's ready to ride. And obviously, wherever she's riding to is definitely cold, at least. Okay, and we got some other good ones here. Thing one's scrolling through because we're kind of ad-libbing on I put them all backwards when I put them in because he didn't do it. I got some riding shots. There's her and Rubel and Sturgis. We saw them in Sturgis. They concerted. They came. I got them to be in the weenie bike contest. It was awesome. It was fantastic. She just said, okay. I said, you guys need to sign up because we were doing all the field games and stuff for the Cycle Source show. So it was too much fun. And at the museum, of course, they were like little kids. They were breaking the rules when we were in Milwaukee and all that stuff. So check them out here. Look at that restricted area. Always getting in trouble. But that's what us bikers like to do. We love it. So then we got a couple more pictures in there somewhere, right? Do we have any more? That was it. All right. That's good then, because that means we get to the good stuff. There she is. Let's turn her mic on and bring her in. Awesome. Miss Boots, how are you?
Hey.
Look at you, beautiful. You are gorgeous. I'm so glad you came on the show tonight.
Hell yeah. When you said, can you do it? I was like, of course. Absolutely. Whatever you need, girl.
I love it. And you are always like that, and I love you. And first of all, thank you for your service. Greatly appreciate that.
It was my honor.
Your bio is incredible. I love that because, it takes talent. You got to, that's a job. That's a communication job for sure. We hear motorcycles going by, hopefully. I got motorcycles everywhere around here tonight.
Oh, yeah, there's a few here too. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, all right, tell me, how have you been? Last time I saw you was in Sturgis.
Yep. Been good. Been riding as much as I can. And of course, Roxy, she don't like the cold. So now that it's cold, I got to put her on the tender. But for the most part, she starts up every time. She's doing really good. And we took a really nice ride last week. It was beautiful weather, and we were we rode out to Ashboro just for a hamburger. It took us 2 hours just to go for a hamburger, and then rode one of the greatest roads in the area without having to go to the mountains. It was called Liberty Road. Nice twisties in the nice weather, and then we came back through and visited a friend, and then came back down. It was a good day to just do a loop. It was really nice.
I love it.
Mhm.
North Carolina is beautiful country too. Like you
Yep.
have some of the best places to ride to there, for
Mhm.
sure. So,
Yes.
Roxy, your motorcycle, I have to say,
Yeah.
she rocked it across
She's my
country.
girl.
Now,
She
you
did.
got a tattoo. I know you got a tattoo from
Yeah.
Route
Yeah.
66,
Yep.
and you had the best attire on the trip. You were always well put together, but always did you keep that theme in mind? Because like I'm like that too. When I go out, I mean, yeah, I'm a tough girl and I work on motorcycles, just like you're the same way. But I like to look good when I go out. I like to have myself together, and then Route 66 shirts. Everybody was in awe because you found all the good duds before the trip, and you got to rock them on the trip. She's a stylista too. I love it.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of different shirts that represented the people that were important in my life and the activities and the places that I've been to, and I wanted to show them off. So it was funny because I put them all in those space bags that you vacuum real tight, and I had 19 shirts in like 3 bags.
And that was each one represented something different and
Yeah.
someone in your life. That is so incredible. See, and I've noticed that about you is you always have a tribute in mind to what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
even certain days you went off, there were reasons that you went off to go do certain things because it was a tribute to someone in your life or someone around you that you want to make sure you experienced that and got to report back and take photos and do all that stuff. And I
Yep.
thought that was really cool. And we did one ride, you did it twice. Didn't you
Yes.
go? Tell us
The
about that.
Enchanted Circle in New Mexico. Well, you're jumping ahead because I know one of your questions is what's your favorite route, and
Okay.
it's hard to answer that question about
Okay.
favorite.
Okay. So we'll get into that after because
All right.
I just know that was I was like, she did what? Oh, she's doing it again. I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. Like, I need to be over there riding with her. Me and Miss Vivian need to just take a day with her for sure. And you did. I mean, everybody on that trip, I'm grateful to Karen and Miss Shadow and everybody that put on the event, all the girls that were there, because honestly, I found such great friends and such great friendship, which motorcycles bring good people together anyways. But wow. And I mean, you, Jenny Bass, so many, and Chris, and we all get together, Miss Sharon Pan, Chris Lewinsky. I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
I'm still just like reveling in the fact that, when I did the Easy Riders article, of course, you read the end of it to where it said, because I was in tears because you guys all inspired me. Like, it was incredible that everyone took it to heart. They took it seriously. And then when the shit went down, everybody was in it to win it. Everybody was moral support and good. And we got this and go, girl. And what can I get for you? And okay, I'm meeting you here. But that was something that everybody grew into because in the beginning, the first couple of days, nobody knew anybody. And within the first 2 days, bam, everybody, this group was going there. Oh, I'm going to ride with them today. I'm going here. So that was an eclectic mix that I'm grateful for that. That was one of the best experiences of my life.
And nobody got feelings hurt or anything because they knew that we were all here to experience whatever it was that was happening. So whether we rode with the same person every day or with different people every day, they understood the reason behind it because we wanted to expand our horizons. We wanted to meet new people. We wanted to get to enlarge our circle. We wanted to hear everybody's story and know what they were going on and figure out what it was that connected us that we could relate to. And then everybody was so supportive. Everybody was so encouraging. There was no, there was nothing that was negative about it. It was all so positive. It was so encouraging and wonderful that
it was.
It
And
was great.
watching everybody too, even mechanically grow into things. If somebody said, "Oh, something's wrong with my bike," I'd say, "Oh, come here," and everybody jump right in. Okay, I want to know. Because they all wanted to know about their machines, and I thought, to me, that was the most incredible thing, because at the end, everyone shared with one another just how much they touched each other's lives, and that's why when I wrote that, it was every one of you changed my life, changed my perspective, changed my world around me, because I have every one of you, in my life now. And thanks to social media, we can do the things that we do. And I know you said to me before we did this, you're like, well, I'm not, Jason or Jenny or whatever, but you are Lisa Boots. And I'll tell you what, I would ride with you anywhere. Miss Gypsy too. She said the same thing, and it was like, yep, there she goes. There goes Roxy. There goes Boots. There's Roxy going. And Roxy, she's a good spirit, but I understand her because I do not like the cold either. I'm not a fan of the cold. I need my tender. Don's my tender. I squishy around him. So okay. So what's coming up for you?
Coming up for us, right now we're just trying to hunker down and get ready for Thanksgiving. We've got some family stuff going on, and then in December I'm going to Hawaii to visit my Aunt Mary and spend some time with my kids over Christmas time. And then coming in next year, we're going to be doing the Tennessee Music and Motorcycles Revival, and we're going to be going back to Sturgis. This will be our third year going back to Sturgis, because you cannot see and do all of it in 1 year or even 2 years. We had to go back
14 years. I still can't do it all. It's like you get so much different stuff. And your kids, Jillian and Bridget, shout out to them. That's awesome. That is very cool. You get
Jillian's in her senior year of college, and she's on the equestrian team, and she's doing great. And Bridget's a scientist, and she's using microscopes and all that, all those big words that I can't understand in chemistry.
Oh yeah,
she's doing great. So
that's awesome. Equestrian team, huh? I love horses, and I grew up around horses. I always had my daughter. I just got her a horse, and she was, you could see every bone in her body when she got her. 2 months later, I'm like, is that the same horse? Like, wow, you pay attention, kid.
That's right.
Good mannered though, and she said, "Mom, you picked the best horse for me because they have the same personality." When I walked up to this horse, I was like, "Oh, I know where you're going. You're going home to her." And she needed
horses will teach you a lot, actually, because they will respond. If you try to train them or control them out of fear, they won't do anything. But if you have to understand, you have to relate to them and respect them, and then they'll follow what you do as long as they can understand what you want them to do.
Yeah, and they need to be able to trust you. That's the big thing with them is trust. Exactly. They need to know that they can trust you with no matter what, and they'll always be there for you. That's a thing. I learned a lot growing up, and it kind of went from live horses to iron horses.
Right.
My mom moved away with my horses, and then my dad got me into motorcycles and all his biker friends, and it kind of saved me from a lot worse, I'm sure. So, yeah. But equestrian team's cool. One of my close friends, Jen, her daughter Emma, she rides at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala. They don't live far from there, but she was at the barn where I had my horse when she was like 5. She's like 16 now. She's all grown up. It's beautiful technique, everything. I'd love to see your daughter ride sometime. Have to send me a video or something. So that's super cool.
Yep.
All right. Yep. You want to do some questions? Oh, and Rubel and his at his club, they're doing cooking turkey.
Yeah, they're doing some turkey stew for Thanksgiving, because that way everybody who's home, and once they finish visiting families and stuff, they can come out and have some turkey stew. He does it every year, and it's really good. It's delicious.
He's awesome too. You guys are awesome together.
He did a big Halloween thing too at their clubhouse. They did the haunted house where they set up all these scarecrows and stuff, and it was kind of creepy.
Was it creepy? He pulled off creepy. It's not always easy to pull off.
He did. He just pulled it off. He pulled it off.
And the game in Sturgis, I thought that was so funny when you told me about. Well, when you joined the weenie bike contest, then that was at my request, and it was awesome because you're such a good sport. But the game, was it?
Yep. Every time we do anniversary party or a fundraiser party or anything at his clubhouse, we always do biker games. We do the keg barrel roll, and we do the slow ride, but we also do the poker and run game where we set up the frame. That's right. We set up the frame with the curtains, and you have the couple on one hand on one side, and they say, "Okay, ready, set, go," and they got to jump through the window and run to the bike and get it started, and that whoever gets there on time with a helmet on and everything, they win.
Yeah, they put clothes on and everything and jump to the way. Yeah, that's so funny. When I cracked up when you told me about that, and then he showed me pictures. I was like, that is too awesome.
It's funny. It's funny to do, and it's funny to watch too.
Oh yeah, definitely entertaining. Yeah, especially if that one day you're not drinking as much as everybody else and they do it and you get to watch it. That's pretty funny. I imagine.
Yep.
We're gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to come up and attend. Donnie and I are gonna have to
Oh,
ride out.
definitely. We
Oh
have
yeah,
a ton
for
of
sure.
fun.
Oh yeah. All right, so we got questions. I'm excited about questions. I like the questions.
All right, I'm ready.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, definitely cats.
Cats.
I raised my children to be self-sufficient. I want my pets to be self-sufficient.
Okay, I like that. They can kill for their dinner if they have to and go to the
If they
bathroom
have to.
outside.
If I'm gone for 3 days, they'll survive.
They'll survive, right? Okay. Apples or oranges?
Apples.
Apples?
Yeah, apples definitely, because oranges are too much work.
I like
Apples, you
that
just do the
answer.
whole thing.
I like that answer. Well, I don't know. This one could go either way for you. Hotel or camping?
See, that depends. If it's 1 or 2 nights, we're good with camping, and I love camping. As a matter of fact, Rubel and I were supposed to go down to Myrtle Beach Bike Week 1 week, and 1 year, and we got down a night early. So what we did was we parked our bikes. We put the tarp down, and we put my bike on one side and his bike on the other side, and then we put a tent camp rain fly over top, and so we camped without
Between
the
your
tent
motorcycles?
between our motorcycles.
Love
And
it.
I remember waking up in the morning and looking over, and I was like, Roxy. And I'm like, oh yeah, Rubel.
Oh, you're so awesome. That is so awesome. Don and I slept on a tent on Main Street in Daytona 1 year. That was kind of fun. Yeah, we got totally off the chain, and neither one was driving, and there was like a tent, and I think they were giving away a donation bike or something like that, and they weren't there. The tent was empty, so we just crawled in the tent, and then also we heard people. It was like 7 a.m. We crawled out of the tent, got over to the bike. We were like, some dentine and brush the hair and move on. But yeah, camping like that is always fun. Always fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, with him, I've camped and slept 1 night or 2 nights, and just about it. We slept in church pews before.
Right. Yeah, you got to do wherever the road takes you.
That's right.
And you are.
But if it's longer than 2 or 3 nights, then I'm like, okay, let's do the hotel so we can get a nice hot shower and we can relax. Yeah.
Yeah, and have a little spring in the bed to go along with all the stuff that you missed out on because you're camping and critters and all that. Hi, Dennis. We see you. It's good to see you very much. Andrea, hello. We got shout outs. There we go.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Okay. So slow, fast, or faster?
See, I was fast and faster until Rubel showed me how to slow down and really enjoy the scenery. So I like to take the curves fast. As a matter of fact, I had somebody say, why don't you slow down on the curves? I'm like, why? I can just push through it. Just roll faster.
That's awesome.
But I would look in the rearview mirror and he'd be way behind me. I'm like, what's going on here? And I'd look about and I realized he's looking at the scenery instead of taking curves. And I thought, okay. So it depends. If it's a road that I've been on for a while and a few times, then I can go fast. But if I haven't been on it before, then I'll like take in the scenery and look around. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
We did the very first time we did the Tail of the Dragon. We came around up from the beginning, and you have to come around the lake, and you come around the curve, and it opens up right in front of you. You're just like, whoa! It's so majestic right in front of you. I had to slow down. So it really depends.
That riding shot that I had put up before, that was a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
I love that. They have somebody on the road like in Sturgis that they're sitting there and they just wait for motorcycles to come by. Yeah,
the professional photographers. And a little unknown fact about that particular ride, Rubel had no brakes on his bike.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but he's like that too though. He's a vagabond. He's just whatever goes on.
He figured it out. But we would get around a curve and I'd slow down and he'd catch up to me and I'm like, you're good? All right, cool. And I keep going. He's like, no. But he was good. He made it fine.
Funny. That is too funny. So how long have you been riding motorcycles?
Well, I've ridden my own for about 8 years because I got my endorsement in 2014. But as you saw from my Aunt Regina and my whole family's been in bikes. Every boyfriend I've ever had ridden bikes. I've been on the back for years. So bikes have been in my life my whole, for the whole time. But it wasn't until 2014 that I decided I wanted to get my own endorsement, or at least go through the class to see if I could do it. It was kind of a, let me just see if I can do it kind of thing. And once I went through the class and I got control of that bike, I never sat on the back again. Not unless I had to.
And
So
that's
it's been about 8
it's
years.
yeah, it's difficult to once you are pushing the
Once you feel
handlebars,
the
you're holding.
power.
Yeah, and you can go where you want and lean how you want and go your own
Yeah.
way. And if you
Yeah.
have somebody that you can trust and hop on the back, like
Yeah.
I
I
get
don't
it,
mind
but
getting on the back, once in a while if I have to, or if we're just cruising here or there in a short trip. But I would rather be on my own, be able to really experience the road for myself and
I'm
know
the
that
same way.
I'm conquering the road myself.
Right.
You know?
And I
Yes.
feel the same way about that because it's
Mhm.
just a thing. I did once, however, get Don on the back of my rigid on the
Yes.
fender. He's super tall like Rubel, and my
Mhm.
pegs were up at the top of the frame. So his knees were in my ears. He's got his arms wrapped around me, and of course, his handles are not the same as my handles. So he's grabbing a hand, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, what are you
Uh-huh.
doing? So I did skip a question though: sunshine or moonshine?
Oh, moonshine, definitely. Yeah.
I,
I'm not a
I'm
morning person. Mm-mm.
That's
No.
good.
I set my alarm an hour before I have to get up because I sit there and hit snooze a million times and go, "Arr."
See,
And
we
then
have so
about an
much in
hour
common.
later, I'm like, okay, I'll think about getting up.
Right. We have so much in common. I'm like, 7 o'clock. Why in the world would people get up at 7 o'clock? But I'm up till 3 o'clock, probably like you, 2 o'clock, one
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning, doing all our stuff because that's when you get time to do it after working and doing all the stuff. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get that for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so here we go. That question: favorite rides? Which is your favorite motorcycle ride and your favorite route? And I'm sure I know the answer to motorcycle because like you have a love
Um,
affair with Roxy,
I
right?
do have a love affair with Roxy. She is the perfect fit for me. Absolutely. Now, the first bike I ever owned was a Blast, Buell Blast.
Okay.
And that was, I bought that right after I got my endorsement. It was $800. I thought, okay, well, let me buy this. It wasn't going to win any beauty contest, but at least I got some seat time and I got some road time. So I do have a certain love for that Buell Blast because she got me on the road. But
Okay.
Roxy is definitely my bike. Like, I'll never sell her. I'll always have her. She's taken me places and done me good and always got me where I need to go. And even if she's had problems, she's never broken down. She's always just sort of complained.
Right. She never
She
left you on the
does.
side of the road.
That's
Right.
right. That's right. She just kind of cries out and she's like, "Okay, I need attention."
Oh
But
yeah.
she's taking good care of me. Yeah. So
I've experienced that. She definitely will tell you. She
mhm.
she at least let you know, and that's a good thing. Because
Yep.
that night, that photo that I showed of all of us working on your motorcycle
Yeah.
engine, that was
Yep.
the coolest thing though, because you were like, okay, let me see. Okay, this is what it is.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, we need this. We wrangled some people to help us go get the things we needed, and we fixed it. And on the
Yep.
road, and there you went. And every day, how you doing? Everything's good. Everything
Yep.
good. Everything's good. And every day, you just kept going and going and going. And I was like, damn, girl, look at that. Because that's good chi. I've had people that I know that their motorcycles just absolutely can't stand them. You know
Mm.
what I'm talking about because they all have personality. But at
Mhm.
every turn, there's an electrical
Yep.
problem. There's a this problem. There's a that
Yeah.
problem. So,
Oh,
it is what.
you have riders who, if they have one thing go wrong, they're like, "Nope, I'm not riding anymore. I'm not. Nope, not until I know there's." And they're never satisfied that it's going to be right. And
Right.
sometimes you just have to have faith that the bike will tell you if there's a problem. They will
Yes.
tell you, and that's what Roxy does. She tells me, she gives me signals and signs, and as long as I pay attention and I give her the attention that she needs, we follow through. But she's always been really good about making sure that she tells me there's a problem, but she muddles through and she
Right.
keeps me going until we can fix her. Yeah, she's
Right. And
definitely.
you maintain your bike regularly. So when something does pop up, that is exactly what it is. She's telling you, hey, mom, listen,
Yep.
I'm going to need
Yep.
a this. Check me out
Mhm.
over here. See, that's cool
Oh
because
yeah. And
that's
kudos
how
to
she
Mark
supports you.
Hendricks at Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson, and all the crew there, Jose and everybody, because they have done really well by me and by Roxy, making sure that we've got everything we need. And leading up to the Chick 66 ride they really did make sure that we were ready to go on that ride. No worries. So
They were,
I got to
yeah,
be
they were technically your ride sponsor. They got you all ready, right?
They were.
And everybody,
Yep.
I know you raved about them the whole trip, and I can't wait to get up there and meet them. But when I go, I know you're going to take me over there. So I
Oh,
met
absolutely.
the
Yep.
Smokeout. There was a couple people there from the Tobacco Road Harley.
Yep. Who was there from Tobacco Road? Yeah. Mark Hendricks from, because he was there with the hamsters.
With the
Mhm.
hamsters, yeah.
Mark and Ashley. Ashley, she does shiny side up painting.
Right. Yeah.
She does that.
Yeah. And that was cool. Smokeout was a good time. That was
It was
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
It was.
It was so good to see you. I was just like, wow. And I had a blast with you and Rubel, of course, you know.
Yeah.
That was definitely, I like, that reminds me of, I won't say days gone by, but a lot of times in my younger years, that's how we did everything. We didn't do it like they do nowadays.
That's how you caught up.
Yeah, that's great. There was no social media.
Yep.
You look forward to that ride, and everybody went to that. My son's 32, and they have a group of guys. They do that. They meet in this one place every year, and there's like 30 of them, and they just meet there every year, same weekend, whatever. And it's too cool because that's what it was like pre-social media. So
that's how Sturgis started. You know, it was 5 guys that decided where we're going to meet, and that was the most common area, the most central location, and then never, you know, they invited 2 friends, and they invited 2 friends, and then now it's this.
And Pappy Hole's wife made sack lunch for every one of them. Like that was a thing. Cycle Source, when you go to their events, they do. And when you have the pass, they give out a sack lunch. The local church, they make it and they do it all up, and that's in tradition, in the spirit of that, in tribute to that. So that's super cool. So cool. So what's your favorite route to ride?
Well, my favorite route, you know, my short answer is the one I haven't ridden, because, you know, it's always, you know, you have certain roads you like and routes you like for certain reasons, but there's always one that you haven't ridden yet. And so you never know, is that the best one. But I got to tell you, after the Chicks on 66 ride, that Enchanted Circle ride that we were alluding to, we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, twice.
That
She did it twice.
Amazing. And not only that, just New Mexico itself surprised me because it had all the elements. And that's what I love about North Carolina. But New Mexico had the desert, it had the mountains, it had the green trees, and it had the open skies, and it had like everything. And then we went on this Enchanted Circle loop that took you around the highest mountain in the state, so that you got to see elevations, and you got to see far out, and you got to see the close rides that you do in the mountains. And it was just a little bit of everything. I was just I was blown away by it. So the next morning when we were getting ready to go, and I heard that some of the girls hadn't gotten to experience it, I said, well, I'll stay around and do it again. Let's do it again. Hell yeah, let's do it again. And we did that whole loop again. And it was beautiful. It was truly amazing. That's probably my favorite as of right now, because I've done the Tail of the Dragon, the Back of the Dragon, the Chalaha Skyway, the Blue Ridge Mountains, all what's local to my area that I can get to within a couple of days. I've been Daytona and, you know, all that, but going out through the Route 66 ride, that particular area and that road had to have been the most spectacular ride and view that I have seen in a long time.
That's awesome. And I love your answer. Favorite ride is the one you haven't ridden yet. That to me, that's inspiring, because that's how you know that's exactly what, every moment you're always for the next, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And it's the adventure. That's part of what motorcycling and the camaraderie and the people you meet and all that. I mean, I meet people in the gas station. Some of them don't even ride motorcycles, but I get to know them. I meet them. I have, you know, how you doing?
Because they ask you.
They do.
Yeah, they'll come up to you and they'll be like, oh yeah, I used to have this bike, or, you know, oh, I wish I could do this or this. And they just want to hear about your stories and your adventure. Even if they couldn't do it, they want to live vicariously through you.
Right. And that's the cool part. And then, like, when we used to go to Sturgis and take the trailer and everything, we would take all the motorcycles over, and everybody would ride over to the Veterans Hospital there. And the guys would come out, and, you know, they'd have their oxygen tanks and whatever, and they come out, and if you just sat back and let them sit on the motorcycles, they'd all of a sudden start telling each other stories. talking about old times. If you just sat back and you listened to it all, that was like that ride that you're talking about. It was so spectacular because that's what it's all about. That's what motorcycling is all about. No matter where you come from, what you do, that is the key element. I had this bike, like you said, motor maids too, being a motor maid. I don't know if, you know,
that connected you and all the,
all of it. Yeah. And everybody, but it's that thing because there's so many different women. There's corporate women, there's biker women, there's, you know, like Mike and Margaret Wilson. When Margaret passed away, she was like 94 or whatever. He taught the Blue Angels how to fly. He was an instructor for them until he was like 75 or something. And she was still riding like at 90, like Gloria. She rode till 95, 96. It's, you know,
it's so impressive.
But that's you're impressive though. You are so impressive. Like,
I hope I'm running at 93.
Oh, we're gonna have beers when you're 93. I promise. I'm sitting down with you. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna meet somewhere cool. So, what is your absolute favorite song?
Ooh. See, the word favorite always throws me off because it really depends on what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and what I want to be at. Like growing up, my favorite song was anything by Meatloaf.
Okay.
But
I love Meatloaf.
Now, well, on Route 66, you know, some of my favorite songs were Unstoppable or Overcomer. One of my favorite songs now is Fearless by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You know, of course I love Ozzy Osbourne and AC/DC, and I don't really have a favorite song specific, like one song per se.
You have a jukebox, really you have a jukebox in your head that plays.
I do, yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That is cool. Yeah. Okay, so a good question. Who is your childhood hero and why? I love this question. I love hearing the answers to this one.
You ask the hard questions.
I do.
Yeah. So it's my childhood hero. I think, you know, growing up, I mean, I always wanted to be Stevie Nicks when I was in high school.
Okay.
And then I loved Valerie Bertinelli. She was so awesome watching her on TV. She's cool. And of course, you know, being married to Eddie Van Halen had to be great. But
of course, there's perks to that.
And then you know, there's my Aunt Mary who she always inspired me because she was always so wide open and she never held anything back. And I loved her sense of spirit and her venture. So she was probably somebody that meant the most to me growing up. So if a childhood hero is somebody that you aspire to be, that would probably be the closest. My mom, of course, I love my mom, and she's somebody that, you know, I have a mad respect for. But when my parents got divorced when I was young, and she was always working and going to school and doing all that stuff, my Aunt Mary was the one that was around who taught me how to have that sense of adventure and go for life and, you know, do what you want to do and nothing will hold you back. Don't let anything hold you back. That kind of thing. So probably my Aunt Mary would be my childhood hero, I guess. But I always wanted to be Stevie Nicks.
I love it. Shout out to Aunt Mary. Now that's when you're going to see in Hawaii.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yep.
We'll tell her we said
another thing that she just, you know, dropped everything, sold everything, said, "Oh, I'm moving out to Hawaii." And after 15 years, she realized, well, I'm not coming back. So you guys got to come and see me.
There's that sense of adventure, right? She's just like, that's it. I don't care. That is cool. So then, who is your motorcycle hero and why?
Well, my motorcycle hero, since motorcycles have been, like I said, in my life with my family, my Aunt Regina, my Aunt Mary, they're big in the Moto Guzzi and Ducati world.
No, I like that.
But I didn't know all the details. I didn't grow up learning about who was involved historically. I have a lot of respect for all the female riders that have come before us, Dot and everybody coming up. But truthfully, I'm going to say badass Jenny Bass.
Oh, yeah.
She is my motorcycle hero because she has incredible drive and determination, and her sense of adventure and humor and everything. I want to be like her when I grow up.
I tell you what, you hit the nail on the head there, and that's an absolute great motorcycle hero to have because
Yeah.
she is all that, and I can't wait to see her race. That's what I'm looking
Yes.
forward to because I know
Yeah.
she's going to be a badass on the track. I'm the same with you. I love her personality, everything about her. But yes, you picked a good motorcycle hero,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you got that out of the run.
I did.
I'm glad that that's something because that answer means the world to me because I know everybody and everyone how everything was and how everybody got together and all that stuff, and to see you come away with that for her, I mean, I'm sure right now when she watches this she'll be like, oh, she's stoked, but
Mhm.
it's cool because she's deserving of that as
Yeah.
much as she totally
Oh yeah, when
absolutely.
you see the questions, the adventures that she's been on, and the fact that they built that bike together,
She's
and
fearless
the way
too.
she rides it, and
She's
just
fearless.
yeah.
And anybody who doesn't know about Miss Jenny Bass Cycles,
Mhm.
she showed up the day we were leaving with her motorcycle and her man in the van. We
Yeah.
let Eric come along. However, she was on that knucklehead 75, 80-year-old motorcycle, and I mean
Yeah. And
that
riding it like a boss.
the goo was holding a lot of things together. That the goo was the glue for that motorcycle because
Yep.
that it was just the decades of it being on. But jump on that, kickstart it, just right away.
Mhm.
Jump on it, kickstart it right away, and she was just
Yep.
off. Get
And
that
she
leg
didn't think twice
swinging.
about it. She
Oh,
was like, "Oh
never.
yeah, here we go."
Put a little purse on, and off she went. And it was just like, check you out. And at the end, because we talked about the honeymoon parts and all those things. I'd ask her at the end
Mhm.
of the day, how you feeling? Everything okay? So yeah, the honeymoon part's taking a little beat, and Eric's not going to be happy, but I'm going to bed. That's it.
Yep.
She'd go, but she rode that rigid all the way across. And I mean, there are men who would cry like babies over that.
Yeah.
That woman, and she's, I don't know, 5 foot something, and she just, and had that leg swinging, and she's out there. We're all teaching Sharon how to kickstart and all this, but all that. But yes, perfect. That is a great. You made my
Yeah.
heart so happy. That is an awesome hero to have.
Yeah.
I love that. So,
Mhm.
what is your favorite road food?
Oh, that's easy. Breakfast. I can
Breakfast. I
eat
love.
breakfast 3 times, 3 meals a day.
Yes,
Breakfast.
we do breakfast for dinner a lot. I like pancakes
Mhm.
in the middle of the night. Something
And
about a
every
pancake.
restaurant cooks breakfast dinner. You could order French toast and it's different everywhere you go, or you
Oh
could,
yeah.
shrimp and grits or eggs over easy. I don't know how many times I've had to go in a restaurant and say, okay, eggs over medium.
Right.
Medium is slow cook, not the wild.
I love it. Like me
But
some
I love
corned beef
breakfast.
hash too. Breakfast is good. You can have breakfast any time of the
Mhm.
day.
And no matter
Thank
where you go, they got the ingredients, so you're
always.
pretty much good to go. They can't tell
Yeah.
you, "No, that's not on the menu."
Now you're like me. You like the small mom and pop diner. You'll search for one of those
Definitely.
before you go to a regular restaurant.
Oh, absolutely.
Jason's like
Mhm,
that too. Jason Sims.
mhm.
I love that about him because he's a foodie. I like
Yeah,
watching him. He come up with you kind of watch to where he was
yep,
going to eat because if you're ever on that road again, that's where you want to go to eat because it was
yep,
good. So
yep, and I always ask, "What's your special? What do you do that nobody else does?"
right, right.
Mhm,
That is
mhm,
it, and that's the magic of being on the road too. That's the
right,
incredible part of it. So then, what are your? I'd give you two. Everybody gets two because nobody can ever pick one. So your
yeah.
two most cherished motorcycle memories.
My 2 most cherished motorcycle memories, they're really simple, actually. When I first got my endorsement, I took the class at the Harley shop, and the instructor that I learned from, after we did the class, they offered 3 times that you could go back and use their class motorcycle and just do a little practice. And so the first time I went back, I went and practiced, kind of in the parking lot just to make sure that I did everything that I learned. And then we just went the block. We did the block right around the Harley shop. We didn't, right, right, right. And then you turn around and you left, left, left. Well, one of my most cherished times is when we left the block and we actually took a left on Lake Wheeler Road and we rode down Lake Wheeler Road and we're riding and riding. And he's looking at me like, okay, you doing good? You doing good? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. And we pulled over to this gas station. And that was one of my most cherished rides because that was like the first time on the real road on the bike that I was controlling the bike in like traffic with everybody else. And I thought, I'm doing this. I am doing this, and this is me. So
Great.
yeah, that will never leave me because that probably is the foundation of my confidence in riding. And then the second most cherished time, again, is a pretty simple one. It was one night I was leaving, group of friends, we were hanging out, and it was time for me to go back. And I went up to an intersection, and there was a stop sign, and there wasn't anybody else on the road because it was an old backcountry road. And I pulled up to the stop sign, and I must have stopped too short. And I stopped, and sure enough, Roxy tipped right over. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Well, I learned, I did what I learned. I put the jiffy stand out and I went on the other side, backed my butt up, and I pushed her right up and I stood her up. Well, as I stood her up and I put her onto another bike was coming by and he pulled over and he stopped. And by the time he stopped, he looked over and I had already pulled her up and I had her on the bike. And I looked at her and my grin, I was just like, yep, I picked my bike up all by myself.
I love
that
it.
was my So that was a cherished, definitely most cherished time. Right.
I love the smile on your face when you tell those stories too, because you can tell that genuinely is really it. Like, that's fabulous. I love that answer.
Well, those two incidences, as simple or small as they may be, those are the foundation of the confidence to know that I can do this. No matter what happens, I can do this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do anything. You've done all kinds of stuff that a lot of people haven't done in the world. So you're an inspiration. I look at you and I'm just like, she's awesome. She's fantastic. But I knew that from the beginning. From our first phone call, I was like, yeah, she got this going on. She's got a lot of resolve and she's going to make it happen no matter what. So that's what you got to have going forward in the world. Because otherwise, shit trips you up and, well,
yeah,
we all stumble. Everybody stumbles and falls. But it's what you do when you get back up that matters. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
So then,
or if you get in your head and you start thinking about it too much,
yes.
Then you're going to convince yourself you can't do it. So you got to be careful not to do that. That's what I did. We were in Arizona and we had that 20 miles of traffic with all those tractor trailers, and it was, everybody was dead stopped and it was hot as hell. And I was with Nadine and Kelly and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. And Nadine, of course, she's from Oregon, so she knows how to lane split. And I've never lane split before. And she said, we got to do it. We got to do it. I was like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? She says, just go straight. Just go straight. I'm like, okay. So I followed her right through these two big tractor trailers about this big. And we went through the tractor trailers because, of course, they're stopped. So I didn't know they didn't have to go too far. But I got through the one and I was like, okay, we're good. And then I looked at her and I was, okay, we'll do one more and a car. So we went through the tractor trailers and a car. And then the next thing I know, we got one more tractor trailer and we went through another one. And all of a sudden they must have got on the CBs because the next thing we know, the tractor trailers are splitting like this and giving us wide space. And we did about 4 miles just going straight through while they were letting us through lane split. And I'm just going through it. I look and I was like, can I fit? I'm like, yeah, I think so. And I close my eyes.
I love it.
Like, she said I can do it.
Right, because on the East Coast here, we don't do that. People pull out of the lane. If you're stopping traffic, they just pull out nowhere.
Yeah, well, they don't understand that there's a reason why. They figure you're just, being arrogant and trying to get around them, but there's actually a reason why. And if they knew, then maybe they don't. But because they were in Arizona and it was legal and they knew, and the tractor trailers, they got on the CB and they called ahead and said, hey, there's, some bikers coming through.
So cool.
It was like the parting of the Red Sea. Oh my God.
I love it. That's awesome though. That's what the great stories are all about. That's the cool stuff that all of it's about, riding motorcycles, because you get that adventure. That is it.
Yep. And it's like I said, sometimes you just got to go, you know what? I think I can do it, and close your eyes and go.
I tell everybody, I do my best not use the word try, because if you look try up in the dictionary, it means to attempt and never succeed. So we'll skip that word. We just take that right out. And can't isn't in my vocabulary because I can do anything. It might turn out shitty and it might turn out really great, but I can. All I have to do is put the effort forward. It's really just about making the effort. And then, well, sometimes we wreck, sometimes we crash. Got to get back up, dust yourself off, and go.
Yep.
Miss Tracy, I see you, Miss Tracy Rhodes.
Oh, cool. Hi, Tracy.
Yeah, she's too cool. I met her on the first Cannonball. She does music and all that stuff. It's North Carolina. She was riding with Greg Allman in Macon, Georgia. That's too funny. I love it. She's awesome. I love to listen to her music and stuff like that. So then our last question there with that is, if money didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would you go and who would that be with?
Well, who would it be with is easy. That'd be Rubel, because, he's the most fun in the world there is.
I love it.
And then where would it be? When you think of the whole earth and the vast world, I mean, where you could, Thailand, Australia, South America, you could go just about anywhere. But I don't know anybody there. So my epic ride would be, I want to do a loop around the U.S. I want to go south, down the East Coast to Florida, and then south through to Texas, New Mexico, and up to Oregon, and then through Milwaukee and Wisconsin and New England, and then down the East Coast, and just stop everywhere that I know people and say hi and spend time.
Well, anytime you're ready, South Florida, straight down the East Coast, we're here. We'll ride a leg with you just to see where you're going next. Take on the adventure for sure. That's cool.
That would be
Rubel, and he's definitely, I'm sure he's the most fun in your world, but I get it because he's fun. I hadn't laughed that much so hard at Smokeout. He had me cracking up. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. And feeding us. The pork chop sandwich was the bomb. That was one of the best things I ever had in my life, ever. It was really good. Okay, so next we want to ask you if you'll tell us something good about yourself that others may not know. Like a secret.
That's a tough one, because if it's good about me, I hope they know about it already.
Yeah, well, not everyone. I mean, there's got to be a closed circle that only know that maybe you can grow a plant, even though you tell everybody you can't. Or
don't let me touch the plants. I got to.
Oh, you're like me? Yeah, black thumb. They die. Dawn didn't believe that, and I'm like, I can't touch that plant. I said I can sniff the flower, but I can't touch it. Oh, come on! And I touched the plant, and it died the next day. And he's like, him and my daughter were like, holy shit. And they can grow anything. So he grows me yellow roses. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Rubel can breathe on it, and then all of a sudden it like multiplies.
Right. Donnie's the same way. That's too funny. But there's something, you dance the tango, something. There's got to be something like that people don't know.
Well, only because I've seen your show before and I've had time to think about, some of these questions and everything. The only thing I can really think of is, when my kids were growing up and we'd be in the car and we didn't be in traffic or something, and they'd start complaining, and I would tell them, maybe this is God's way of telling us that we need to slow down and breathe and consider that something's happening up front that we need to give time to let them deal with, and let's say a prayer for them.
That's awesome. That's good though. Yeah, because you're teaching them patience, and you're teaching them also that
it's out of their control. So let's consider what
others might be going through.
Yeah.
And that makes the world a better place. So to pass that forward to our kids, that absolutely makes the world a better place. Makes our country a great place to be too, because everybody pretty much is kind about that. So
yeah. People get caught up in their lives, and I understand that it's busy and all that. But sometimes if you're in traffic and it's slowing down, maybe it's because somebody's having trouble up front and they need a little patience and consideration, and
right.
So I can do that.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, and then you get to give us 5 good things.
5 good things. Oh, okay. Well, of course, my kids. My kids are the best things in my life. I grew up not really knowing whether I would have kids or not, and so the fact that I have them, I'm really grateful for. And they're very successful and self-sufficient and smart and stable, and I'm really glad for that, because a lot of kids these days grow up with challenges, and they were able to overcome the challenges that they faced, and so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my kids. I don't have to worry too much about them. I mean, I'll of course worry all the time.
Right, it's a mom's job, right.
Yep. My parents, actually. My mom has lived here in North Carolina with near me since I've lived here, but my dad's just recently moved up here. So I get to spend more time with him and with my mom, and they're up in age in their 80s. And not everybody has that privilege. So I really am grateful for that. I really am. Um, of course, Ruble, I got to be grateful for him.
Yes.
He's like my reward, you know.
Uh-huh.
I feel like, you know, all the crap that I've gone through in life, I've gotten to a point where now I get to enjoy life and have somebody enjoy it with. And, you know, he's like, okay, you know, you worked so hard and you've been through so much. God's like, here you go.
Right. Yes. And you two are a perfect fit together. I have to agree. You guys definitely, you can see it. You can definitely
Yes.
see it. That's cool.
So I'm always every day very grateful for him. Um, I think it was at 3. Well, if you count my kids, it's twice. That's 2. But anyway, Roxy, I'm always grateful for Roxy, and she's getting a new paint job.
Oh,
I'm so
nice.
excited. Yep. Yep. She's got some chips and dents and stuff from accident that happened a while ago. I wasn't involved like in the collision itself, but it happened in front of me. So it was like a bomb went off in front of me, and all this debris and everything came out. And
Right.
so she's got chips and paint. So she's gonna get a new paint job. So
That's awesome.
I'll have to send pictures and let you know
Yes,
what.
please do.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, one
And
more.
then yeah, I think, and then of course God, you know, he's always provided for me and blessed me beyond I can ever appreciate it, you know.
That's awesome. That
Hmm.
is excellent. And I have to thank you so much for being here with me. It made me so happy because, like, again, you are a rock star to me. You inspire me all the time. I follow it on Facebook when you guys do stuff. You'll send me text messages sometimes and stuff like that, and it just it lights a fire in my heart, not under my ass, because you're not you
Well,
have a
hopefully
whole.
one day, well, you come up here to North Carolina, we'll hang
I was gonna
out.
say you have a whole different effect on me because it lights a fire in my heart. It makes me feel good and warm, but I also it inspires me to sometimes when the day's going too fast, I watch you guys and you
Yes.
go ride, and I'll tell my honey, I'm like, you know what? It's a shit show no matter what. Let's stop for an hour and just take a little
Yeah.
time together and go for a ride. And it's been working, it does. And God
Mhm.
gives us that. He gives us not more than we can handle. That's what we got big shoulders for,
Mhm.
but he will carry us along in the tough times.
But it
So
gives you the sense to know, okay, right now I need time for myself. I need the
yeah,
time to take care of myself. Put
of
your
what's
oxygen and
important.
mask on first, and then you can take care of everything else.
Right. Yeah, and what's important. It's good to stop and be reminded that there's other things more important than the daily grind and the shit that goes
Yeah,
on. So,
it'll be there.
oh yeah, it ain't going nowhere. Well, I thank you
Nope.
so much. You are beautiful. You are an inspiration. Again, thank you for your service. I love you. Give Rubel a big hug and a kiss for me. Tell the
I
kids I
know.
said go go go.
Yep.
We're gonna need all the mad scientists we can get.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a definite. And then of course, equestrian. There's nothing better than that. I mean, but it takes science to keep that going as well, too. So
Yeah.
that's very good. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Never
Yes.
know. Driving
Oh,
through North
yeah.
Carolina would be like, and if you guys get cold, really, really super cold, and you're just like, screw it, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Come for the weekend. We'll have a
If
fun.
you need unpacking, we'll come and help you.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Oh, what a shit show. But yeah, yeah.
Trust
In
me, I
fact,
know. Packing
Don
is
says to me yesterday,
really easy.
we're unloading the U-Haul. And again, because we had some issues with the house we were in or whatever, and so we're staying with my son. So we're unloading everything into the storage, and it's coming out of the U-Haul. And he just looks at me and he goes, "Well," and I know why he did it now. After I thought about it, because he says, "Well, I don't know. Are you tough enough to lift that into the couch?" And I was just like, and so I started stretching, and I'm just like, "Of course I am. What the hell is that? Like, what do you mean by that?" And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? He did that to light a fire under my ass, so I'd stretch first because it'd be like too tough. I was like, yeah, it's not a refrigerator because in my house I don't lift refrigerators, I don't clean windows, and I do not take out the trash. I'll mow the grass, clean everything. I'll anything you want, but those three things, I'm out of the game. I mean, if
Yep.
I have to, the refrigerator's out totally though.
I
All
never
right.
wanted to be rich and famous. I only wanted to make enough money to pay other people to do stuff I don't want
Oh,
to
you're
do.
so good. I love it. Yeah, I tell everybody, comfortable, just comfortable. And that comes along with comfort. Just be
That's
able to
right.
have somebody else do it. I told him, an apartment. He's like, an apartment. I was like, well, I know we need a yard and whatever, but just think about an apartment. They mow the grass, They take care of all the things. He's like, yeah, your ass. They don't take care of nothing. I was like, oh, you're right. We're gonna buy a house, I think, but we're moving closer to my daughter, so
That's good.
It's exciting. Yeah, because my grandson's 4, and he's just he's smarter than absolutely necessary. So, all right. Well, I love you. I will talk to you soon. Mwah,
Yes.
thank you so much. All right,
Thank
Miss
you.
Lisa Boots Pearson and Rubel and all the pictures and all the good stuff. I love it. So, okay, everybody, that was a fantastic interview. I'm so excited. I am so happy because that is just like, I'm telling you, she rocked it. She absolutely rocked it. So this week, I'm going to give you my 5 good things. My 5 good things are my family, my husband. He is wonderful. When you're in a relationship and you're married, there's peaks and valleys. And you know when someone truly loves you and when you truly love someone. When you can talk about things and work through things, it always works out. In the end, there's people who have been married 50, 60, 70 years. And if you think that you're not going to go through stuff, well, ask some of those people because they've been through some shit. It's whether or not you can find common ground and get back to where you need to be. So he's providing that for me, and I'm grateful. Our kids, well, they're incredible. My son let us stay in his spare room till we find a place. I love him to death. Thank you, Axel. You are awesome. My daughter, she's amazing. She takes on the world, and she still just keeps on going. She's got that kid going. He is definitely one of a kind. He loves his Mimi and his grandpa. We went to go there. We made him dinner while they went to a little get together this week, so that was fun. That's an amazing part of my life. Of course, my motorcycle. I love my motorcycle. She's out there yelling at me, come on, let's go for a ride. So I might take off my pajamas, put on some clothes, go for a ride. Everyone in my life. Thing One. I'm really grateful for Thing One. He's number 3 because Thing One came over here and him and Dawn set everything up and they got us going so we can stay on Monday nights no matter what we do, where we're at. We're coming at you live, so we're loving it. Yeah, that's 3. Number 4, everyone who follows along, Miss Tracy, Dennis, Andrea, everyone else. I'm very grateful for my Uncle Larry, who reminded me today that it's okay to be older. Lance, how are you? Love you. Thank you. And yeah, life is a wonderful gift. So don't, let it pass you by. And 5, well, being here right now, doing this little show with you guys. That's one of my 5 good things. And, I have an afterthought. My afterthought is, okay, after this show, make sure that going forward, when you see someone that's in service or has been in service, please thank them for their service. Buy them a cup of coffee if you're standing in line behind them at the store. If you see an elderly veteran or something like that, buying milk and eggs at the grocery store, and that's it, pull the money out of your pocket. Give them a treat. You know what I mean? Because think about it. You've been eating eggs and drinking milk all because they were eating MREs somewhere in a field somewhere a long time ago. So don't be bratty or anything like that and just take things for granted. And please, people, I love everyone to death, but could some of us please learn about our history and where it comes from and what our military has done for us? Go all the way back to the Boston Tea Party. Go ahead, follow it through. See the struggles and the tribulations and trials. But they gave their lives, everything. They wrote a check and it said, payable with everything all the way up to my life. And many gave them and their family sacrificed. So again, make time, do it. Go to a veterans hospital, visit, volunteer, Meals on Wheels. Don't forget. Yeah, I'm sweating. It's like 90 degrees in here. I know poor Laura's freezing to death. But please make time and make time for one another. Be kind to each other. It matters. And smile big from your heart. Not for anybody else, not for any group, but for yourself. And again, be kind to one another. And everybody get ready because somebody said it today and they started playing that holiday music. That's another thing. If we could just let Hallmark make a Thanksgiving holiday. If there's some way we could commercialize Thanksgiving bigger so that they don't skip right from Halloween to Christmas, I'd be appreciative. Because I have a lot of turkeys and stuff that I like to put around the house, but there's nobody celebrates Thanksgiving anymore. We're already playing Christmas music. Jingle bells. I'm ready for the holidays. Okay. Get ready, Secret Santa. I'm coming after you. All right. I love you all. Mwah. Thank you very much. Chopper on. Make sure you follow on Facebook and definitely send your emails, athenaafterdark@aol.com. We'll do Fan 5 Good Things next week. We have a great guest lined up. I'll send out the announcement. And thanks, everybody, for watching. See you.